As a professional filmmaker, I was super excited when 00 Robotics brought out their X1 flying drone. And had all these presets in it, so you could do hover and follow. But most of all, it had this amazing feature that a filmmaker needs that's called Dolly track. But unfortunately, the sensor wasn't that good, and it didn't have a removable SD card, and I never really sussed how to do noise cancelling. But then Hoverair brought out their Pro Max. This model comes with a 4 or even 8K camera. It's slightly bigger, as you can see, and a longer battery life, but for me the most exciting thing is it has a removable SD card and Dolly track with noise cancelling. In this film, I will give you my honest review as a professional video filmmaker whether the Hoverair X1 Pro Max is really a professional bit of kit. Let's start by looking at examples of preset shots the Hoverair Max can achieve. This is not just a drone that can shoot video, this is really a flying camera. As a filmmaker, I really like how the Hoverair Pro Max does not need a controller to make it fly. Its preset shot selection covers most of your bases on a film shoot. But the special feature built into the Hoverair cameras is the ability to capture a dolly track. In this film, I will concentrate on this type of professional shot and tell you why it is so hard to achieve, and how this flying camera might add a new tool for the professional filmmaker. Here are classic examples of the dolly track. You see this shot all the time, but did you know how hard it is to achieve? What you're seeing here is called a classic walking and talking shot, but it is a problem because my wonderful camera person has to walk backwards. It is a classic shot, but is there a better way to get a walking and talking shot?
My name is Alan Ravenscroft, and I've been a film producer, television producer for years, doing all sorts of stuff, documentaries, bits of drama and everything. And one of the problems we always had was moving backwards, going backwards. You see people walking forwards, a presenter's doing a piece to camera, or someone's walking through the heather. And of course, what you don't see is they've got to have at least two people here walking, clearing the way, or they've got to have someone to show them where they're going and hold on to them. And if you put a dolly and track up, it takes even longer because perhaps the ground isn't flat. You have to have someone pulling the dolly. You have to set it up, which takes time. You've got to get it off the van. You've got to put it up. You've got to have the cameraman. You have the sound guy, who they always like to draw attention to themselves. Will probably appear in shot in the first take. And you have to do it lots of times. And so, those are real problems with shots. I remember working with Glenn Ford doing a series about disasters. The series was a disaster. It was about disasters. It was for Mobile Showcase in the States. And we were filming near the Golden Gate Bridge. And we wanted him above the bridge here. He walks along like this, comes into shot in front of the bridge, and we wanted to walk with him, so he's looking at the bridge. Anyway, long story short, we had to put up a dolly and tracks. Took most of the day. By the time the guys had got it up there, they got it off the truck. They'd had lunch. They set it up, we tried it out, then Glenn Baby and his caravan had to be got, and I think we did 6 or 8 takes of it, because it was inflexible. The cameraman couldn't think, I'm not quite at the right place, I'll just move a little bit. It was inflexible. So if someone had something that could get round all that, it'd be a good thing.
And now, let's hear from a director of photography about how to shoot the classic dolly shot. This is the work of cinematographer Jeremy Benning. He works in film, television, and commercials. Awarded by the American Society of Cinematographers an outstanding achievement in motion pictures for his work on the film Killing Lincoln. Jeremy is a master of holding and moving professional camera equipment in novel ways. So it's an honor to ask Jeremy Benning about how to shoot the classic dolly shot. Jeremy, it's a pleasure to talk to you. And today, I'd like to talk about what apparently, for most viewers, is quite a simple shot. It's a walk-talk shot or a dolly track. Describe what the shot is and tell us why it's so hard to get traditionally.
Well, I mean, the challenge with shots like that is seeing the ground behind the actors as they're walking. So, traditionally, either you're going to do it with a crane, so you can retract the crane, whether it's telescopic or on track,
right,
to pull back as they walk and not see any kind of track on the ground. Because you can offset the track off to the side and pull back and kind of keep it out of the shot. So there's that method. But of course, that involves either a crane or you're laying lots of track and leveling it, which depending on the location can get complicated with cribbing and apple boxes and wedges and all that stuff.
Right.
Or you're dealing with a Steadicam.
Yes.
Which is basically walking backwards, or as they also call it, Don Juan, which is where you're walking forwards and the camera's pointing back. So they call that Don Juan style, which if you have complicated terrain or stairs, that's actually, or moving really quickly, that's often the preferred method. Or now we also have gimbals, such as the Ronin, where you can walk with carrying the gimbal, and it's kind of doing what the Steadicam does in similar ways. So it's another stabilized form of carrying a camera.
So what do you think of the idea of a flying camera that will go backwards as you walk forwards and keep you in vision and will do terrain changing? But is it a professional piece of kit?
Well, I mean, certainly it has its applications. I mean, the main consideration with that is sound, because you're going to hear the rotors. So there's that potential. And there are certain productions, certain studios that have restrictions with drones in terms of proximity to the actors. It varies from studio to studio. Sometimes if it's in front of the actor, it's not a problem. If it goes above them, directly above them, they don't allow that. So it depends on who you're working for.
Oh, thanks, Jeremy. That was a very useful assessment of how you could use the Hoverair Promax in a professional environment to film a walking, talking shot. I've clearly shown you that the Promax has excellent professional picture quality. But how exactly are you going to cope with removing the propeller noise? Hoverair's suggested method of capturing audio with their Promax drone is to use their phone app. The voice isolation works well, but the exported file is slightly out of sync, and I have fixed this in post for you. Now, let's look at some alternative ways that you can capture sound using your Promax flying camera. They came up with this, the beacon. The beacon's main function is video transmission to its built-in screen. It increases tracking accuracy and gives you full manual control over the drone's flight to get some awesome new drone shots. I was excited to see that the beacon has a microphone built in that will function as a wireless mic. But I was less excited to see that the beacon does not have an external microphone socket. So I shot a walking and talking shot with the drone and the beacon's microphone. This is what it sounds like. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the beacon, and I'm talking into the beacon's microphone, and it's being recorded by the drone. The question is, does it have noise cancelling, Or can I still hear the drone's propellers? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. The beacon works well as a wireless microphone. At present, the only way to remove the propeller noise is by using the Hoverair phone app. So I reached out to a development engineer at 00 Robotics to get to the bottom of this issue. Oh, hi. I'm so honored today to be joined by an engineer from 00 Robotics in China. That is fantastic. So tell the audience who you are and what you do for 00 Robotics.
Yeah, so hello. I'm a product engineer, product development engineer from Robotics. I'm from the team Hoverair. Yeah.
Now, the Dolly track is a game changer for professional video makers. To have that shot where you are, as a content creator for YouTube, walking and talking, and the drone is going backwards as you're walking along, following you, is the best idea that 00 Robotics have ever had. It's a flying camera that can do something for content creators, which is great. And I was hoping in the new model that with a combination of the drone and the beacon, I could use the beacon to as a microphone, and it would send noise cancelling audio to the drone, but it doesn't work.
So for the smart modes and also for, I think for manual control, you can record the audio on the app or on the beacon. The beacon has a microphone on it.
Yeah.
And you will utilize the beacon's microphone or the app's microphone or external microphone if you plug into the your cell phone, and you can use the external microphone. The audio file currently is stored inside the app or the when you are using the cell phone, it's inside the app, and when you are using the beacons, I have to confirm, but I think it's in it will be transferred to the drone and combined.
All right. So I've done the test and it doesn't work. So when you record audio with the built-in audio on the beacon, it doesn't do any noise cancelling. It sends the audio to the drone, which records it internally as an audio file, a WAV file, which is great. But I'm not getting any noise cancelling from the beacon, which I think is disappointing, because I think for a film crew, you can put a beacon in your pocket. It would be good to have a microphone socket on the beacon for a personal mic, and then walk and talk and have the drone track backwards. But I'm not getting that to work. How responsive are 00 to input by users? Do you listen to us when we give you feedback?
Yeah, definitely. Like, for example, when we are doing the X1, I literally like look at all the posts like in half a year, like I have an impression on every post, and we like in the comments, and we absorb that, and we convert them to the product requirement document, and we develop the new software software versions. So even now, X1 Pro and Pro Max, we are keep doing that, and you can see like every 1 month on average we have a new software release, including the issue fixes and new features introduction.
Oh, that's great that 00 are constantly improving this product with software updates and listening to users. Since doing that interview, 00 Robotics management made this statement to me. One, that most people are happy using their phone app to record the audio. And this very positive news. 00 are working on optimizing the beacon's noise cancelling feature. And once it's ready, we'll provide this function. I think that's great, but I think it would be so much better if it came with a clip-on wireless microphone that sent a noise-cancelled audio file to the drone. It would make this very capable flying camera into an awesome piece of kit. So as today, everybody can use the phone app to record the sound. But maybe there's another way. I edit using the Apple software Final Cut Pro. Maybe I can use its voice isolation built into my edit suite. It worked like a charm. Listen to this. This is a recording with the propeller noise, and now a recording with voice isolation on. I hope you can hear the difference. This is a secret way to remove your Hoverair propeller noise. Isn't it good? Is it good? My voice sounds slightly robotic. Let's compare the Final Cut Pro voice isolation with the Hoverair app AI voice isolation and see which is best. Now, let's look at some alternative ways that you can capture sound using your Promax flying camera. And now, a recording with voice isolation on. I hope you can hear the difference. What do you think? I don't think there's much between them. The only advantage of using the Final Cut Pro voice isolation is that you can dial it in from 0 to 100 to hit that sweet spot where you're less roboticized, but you're filtering out the rotor noise. If you don't edit using Apple's Final Cut Pro, maybe your edit software does offer voice isolation. But there's another way of fixing this. There's a famous piece of audio software called Audacity that will remove unwanted noise from any audio recording. So viewers, what are my conclusions? Is the Hoverair X1 Pro Max a good tool for professional filmmakers? Yes, undoubtedly it is. With high-res picture quality, 10-bit sampling for professional color grading. But I do think that the engineers at 00 Robotics should spend some time to make the audio as good as the picture quality. They say they listen to user feedback. Well, that's my advice from a broadcast professional filmmaker. I really hope you enjoyed this review, and a big thank you to Alan, Jeremy, and everybody at 00 Robotics who are very open with their assistance. If you're a professional filmmaker or a social media creator, I hope you found this useful. If you did or found it informative in any way, please give this video a thumbs up to encourage YouTube to share it with other people like you. Thank you, and happy filmmaking.